What's going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Klaudless and Indy. I'm Klaudless, and fortunately for you, it's another beer review. Hit it! Alright, you guys, so I am super excited this episode. Why? Well, let me tell you. First, it's been a few episodes since I've wore my Circle City jersey here. I really like this jersey. I highly recommend, if you haven't been to an Indians game, I highly recommend you go. With that being said, the other reason why I'm excited too is because today, if you haven't already seen, we're covering Graffiti Road by Black Dog Brewery. Look at that. Graffiti Road by Black Dog Brewery, a New England IPA. And it's kind of nice because they actually put the hops that they use on the can, which is Citra and Galaxy. Let me finish twirling this here. Black Dog Brewery, based out of, as you can see here, let me see, Mooresville, Indiana. Now, I mean, when I think of Mooresville, Indiana, like, well, in general, I was actually just kind of surprised that there was a brewery out there, you know, but you'll be surprised where you'll find breweries here in Indiana in general, which is the reason for this show, is, you know, for my beer reviews, is to show you, hey, once again, there's a lot more than corn and soy in Indiana. There are also breweries, and there's some great parks as well. So we're gonna, if you watched my previous episode of the La Maison by Taxman Brewing, you'll know that, well, in that episode, I used a beer dispenser to dispense the beer, as you can see right there. But like in that video, we're going to do two tastings. The first tasting is going to be out of the sample glass, where we're going to open up the can and pour it, you know, into the glass fresh out of the can. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and put the can in the aerator, pour it into our beautiful St. Joseph Brewing glass, because once again, I mean, they came out with the 14-ounce glass, and I think 14-ounce glasses are far superior than 12-ounce glasses. I mean, come on, you know. So that's what we're going to do. Now, I'm not too familiar with New England IPAs, so I went ahead and decided to go online and look up some information. So what's a New England IPA? Well, according to the AmericanCraftBeer.com website, when we go to the basics, the best way to describe a New England IPA is that it's everything you like from hops, all the flavors and aromas without the bitterness normally associated with an India Pale Ale, i.e. an IPA. Like, none of the bitterness whatsoever. Well, how the hell do they pull that off? Actually, it's really quite simple. If you add the hops after you are done boiling, I think they call that dry hopping. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. Less of the bitterness properties are extracted from the hops, but the process will extract the aromatic oils that you do want in there, which that makes sense because, you know, also when you add the hops at that later stage in the brewing process, a lot of the oils and proteins aren't as thoroughly combined, giving the beer its very distinctive cloudy appearance. On top of that, brewers make a lot of decisions to enforce the appearance, including leaving the beer unfiltered and using adjuncts like oats, wheat, and sometimes rye. Unfortunately, because of the unfiltered and unstable nature of New England IPAs, they tend to have a very short shelf life and usually require constant refrigeration. Because of this, we don't expect to see a lot of craft beer's larger breweries making the style as successfully as its smaller regional independents. Alrighty, I hope that was coherent and that you understood all that. And that's what a New England IPA is. I could have swore there was some more information as far as the difference between a New England and a West Coast IPA, or rather an East Coast versus a West Coast IPA. But that can be for a later video, you know. So with that out of the way, now that we've described what a New England IPA is, I just want to give you a heads up that the Citra and Galaxy, referring to the hops, I believe those are specifically Yakima Valley hops. At least that's the information I can find online. Plus, just look at this can. Just look at that artwork. You know, I definitely know a few people, you know, back where I'm from in Florida who definitely could have done something like this and who would have loved to be able to, you know, make a design like this on a beer can. Just what a nice can, you know. Also, fun fact, apparently the dog is an actual dog named Shelby. I think it's a mix between a Black Lab and a Great Dane. Maybe I'll do a story down the road. You know, just covering the brewery in general, you know, maybe their beginnings and stuff like that, maybe do a video tour. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like me to do. And if you haven't already, if you like what I'm doing, like, subscribe, and let's get on to the website. Alrighty, so right now we are currently at blackdogbrewingcompany.com. Okay, so, you know, I mean, just your ordinary website. Let's go down to the beers, see if we can find our beer. Alrighty. There we are. Graffiti Road IPA, specifically New England, at a 7.5% ABV. A New England IPA for the hardcore fans. This work of art is everything you want in a New England IPA. Citra and Galaxy hops are the feature, adding long-lasting citrus flavors to a malt landscape that's big and smooth on body. Magnifico. Mwah. Unfortunately, they don't tell us the IPUs there. Did I say IPUs? I mean the IBUs, which is the International Bitterness Units. Nor do they tell us on the can either. But what they do tell us on the can is all spent grain used in the production of Black Dog Brewing Company beer is donated to local farmers. So, the more you know. Fun fact also, we have ourselves a 1 pint can. Oh, I love pint cans. I mean, like, who wants 12 ounces of beer? I mean, come on, you go to the bar, you're getting a pint, right? So if I'm getting a can of beer, why wouldn't I want a pint? Why would I want 12 ounces? That's just my take. That's just me. Let's head to the Facebook at facebook.com/Black Dog Brewing Company. We got some followers here. Yeah, I mean, it looks very active, which is very nice. But let's move on to what we've all been waiting for, the beer. Let's crack it open. As I said, if you watched my last video of the La Maison by Taxman Brewing, then you'll know. I'm going to put it into the tasting glass first, right out of the can, and then we'll use the aerator. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, I need to move the camera up. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, look at that. I hope it's not the light. Whoa. Oh my. But look at that. Look at just how hazy it is. Just with the description, look how hazy that is. Wow. Just like the description said. It's not a really strong aroma right out of the can. Maybe my nose is stopped up. It has been very dry today. But when you smell it, you do get that citrus. To me, it kind of reminds me of like orange citrus a bit. I mean, sure, you could easily say maybe like grapefruit. That smells very good. Let's taste it. Oh, wow. Wow. That's very interesting. Probably, maybe the body how do you say? Well, I wanted to say it feels almost like it's very medium body, not light body at all, which that's probably why it's hazy, you know. I want to say it's almost creamy in the mouth. I want to get more of that before I decide to pour it in the glass. I mean, it does have some decent head formation. I mean, it's not like, it doesn't like necessarily grow. But look at that. Look at that. Very creamy almost, I would say. Oh. Yeah. That's very, how do you say, it's like I said, the body is almost medium to full, and it almost feels kind of creamy in the mouth, if that makes any sense. You know, this is definitely not something that you're going to be, you know, bombing down, or pounding down rather. You know, this is probably something that you're going to be sipping for a minute. With that being said, it's not super cold. This has been out of the fridge for at least an hour. And the house is currently 65 degrees. I mean, it's probably not at 65 degrees. I should really start carrying my thermometer for these videos. With that being said, alrighty, so I went downstairs real quick to actually grab my tester. It's I don't remember what this is called. It's like it's a voltage tester as well as a thermometer. I used to use it back when I used to do electrical. Fun fact, I used to do electrical. And so I just wanted to give you guys, I just kind of wanted to see what this temperature of the beer is at. And 61 degrees. Yeah, so just for future reference, if you're, you know, wondering, what temperature is he drinking his beer at compared to, you know, what you may get it, you know, if it was out of the fridge. I'm drinking my beer at 61 degrees, and it is delicious. Yeah. All right. So now that that's out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and put the beer into the aerator, and yeah, and we're gonna taste it. Wow, look at that. That is just beautiful. Almost kind of reminds me of like OJ. Alrighty, you guys. So I have poured the beer from the aerator, and if you look at this, I don't know about you guys, but this literally reminds me of orange juice. Like, real talk. Just look at that. That is just so dense. Like, you can't see anything. You know, that is very hazy, very cloudy. And I would say definitely fits into. I'm not sure if the description I read to you guys was the descriptions that I was reading. But as far as the descriptions that I was reading, this is hands on the spot. I mean, it's not very bitter. I would say the bitter, like, it's there. So it's at least definitely above 30 IBUs. It has to be. I would even go as far as say maybe about 40 or so. But it's not like super hoppy at all. But there is a little bit of a bitterness there. Yeah, I mean, that's some great head as well. I mean, you can't see it without me bending it, and I'm not moving the camera. But, yeah, yeah, that's very smooth. I would even go as far as to say, like, the bitterness is kind of, like, on the mid to back end. When you first drink it, like, as I said, you get that creaminess, and then you get the bitterness on the mid and the back end. And once again, a very medium to almost full body beer, which, as I said previously in the last video, that I think that the heavier the beer, or the fuller the body, the colder it probably should be. But yeah, it tastes very delicious, very delicious. As I said, the citrus kind of reminds me of oranges a bit, but also possibly grapefruits. So I mean, that's pretty much it for this review. If you liked it, definitely like, subscribe. I'll put down some links in the descriptions if you want to support me. And if you want to see more videos from Black Dog Brewing Company, let me know. I really like this one. Like I said, I've been anticipating trying their beer for a long time. I was actually wanting to go there, but I ended up picking this up at Total Wine. Still definitely want to plan a trip there. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Anyways, this is Klaudless and Indy covering Graffiti Road by Black Dog Brewing Company down in Mooresville, Indiana. And I really like their slogan, life is rough, so drink beer. Prost, salud, salute, slancha, cheers, peace.